Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I'm one of the teachers here at Bread Ahead Bakery School, and today we're going to make a delicious pudding with leftover hot cross buns if you have any, but I think it's also something that you can just use with leftover panettone for Christmas time, or maybe with some leftover croissants or brioche, quite versatile. But today I have leftovers, hot cross buns from my Easter, so let's start making this delicious pudding. So what we need for this is just about 6, 7, 8 hot cross buns. We're going to be using some double cream, we're going to have some egg yolk, some milk, some sugar, and a bit of vanilla and a bit of extra butter. So the first thing that I need to do before starting with my pudding is to preheat my oven. I am using a fan oven, so I'm going to put it in 160 fan, but if you have a convection oven you can go for 180. So once you put your oven on, please make sure that you have a rack in the middle, so this is going to be the perfect spot for our pudding to bake. Right, the first thing that we need to do after you preheat your oven is just prepare our custard. For the custard I have some double cream and full fat milk. I'm going to need a small pan, so basically it's just a classic custard. We're going to heat that double cream and the milk together, and we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. So I have my pan in here, I'm going for double cream, and full fat milk, and I have a bit of vanilla paste. Here you can use vanilla paste, vanilla beans, or maybe vanilla extract. If you want to add something different, maybe you can add some cinnamon sticks, or orange peel is really nice. I'm going to put it on the heat, medium heat, and once you can see some steam coming out from the pan, that's it, it's ready to take it out. Right, so I can see the steam coming out, it's almost boiling, so I just took my pan out from the heat, and like this is going to set on the side. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare my yolk mixture. So for that, what we need is a bowl and a whisk. For the second part of our custard, we're going to be using some egg yolks, whole egg, custard sugar, and mixed spice. If you don't like this, maybe you can just use some ground cinnamon or ground nutmeg, but mixed spice is also the same spice that we use for our hot cross buns though, so I think it's going to be perfect. Once you have all those ingredients in the bowl, I'm going to use a whisk and gently start mixing all together. Great, this smells good already, but basically we're missing one last step, which is mixing both things together. Because we have eggs in here, we cannot go too quickly with the hot ingredients on top, if not you can cook the yolks. So we need to go slowly with the warm milk and double cream on top of the ingredients that we have in the bowl. I'm going for a splash and I'm going to keep whisking. And another one. And another one, and I think now I'm ready to go for everything. Perfect. So the first part of our pudding recipe is done, easy peasy. Now this is going to set on the side. In the meantime, we're going to be working on our hot cross buns. We're going to cut them in half and maybe put some butter inside and toast them. The toasting of the hot cross buns before adding into the pudding is going to help us to have a crispy side in the buns, but also to avoid having too much liquid in the buns so they are not that soggy after bake. So prepare your butter, a frying pan, and of course your hot cross buns. So I have my leftover hot cross buns. I have about 7. So also I've got a little bit of unsalted butter, my frying pan, a knife and a butter knife. Basically we're going to cut this in half. Look at this, all the fruit, lovely. And once you have them all cut, I'm going to grab a butter knife, a little bit of butter, and I'm going to spread this butter on the opening side, because this is the side who is going to be golden and crispy. So let's butter our half buns, and then I'm going to put my frying pan on a medium heat, and I'm going to toast them until they are nice and gold. After that, you take them out, and we're going to cut them even in smaller pieces. So I have my first batch in. I'm going to toast it for a couple of minutes, and then once they're nice and golden, I'm going to take them out and the next batch goes in. Once you have all the sides toasted, we are going to cut them in small pieces, and we are almost ready to assemble our pudding. Right, so I'm taking my last batch of hot cross buns, nice and toasted, and I'm going to leave it on the peel to cool down a little bit. This is what we want, golden, crispy, slightly burnt on the side, perfect. This means also more flavor into your pudding. So once you have all the hot cross buns ready, I'm going to prepare my tin. So I have the custard ready, I have the buns ready. I'm going to move this on the side, because now it's time to prepare our 2 pounds tin. So I have just a normal tin, and here you have 2 options. If you want, you can grease the tin with some butter first, or you can just use some parchment paper. I believe if you use parchment paper, it's going to be much easier to take them out once it's baked. Now, to have a perfect shape of our parchment paper inside the tin, let me show you quickly how to cut this. So I have a piece of parchment paper on the table, and I'm going to put the tin on top. It is going to help me to measure the length of the paper. So I can see it's a bit bigger on this side. I'm going to use a scissor to cut the excess. And once you have the length, I'm going to use for 2 cuts on the sides, which are going to help me to fold the paper inside the tin. When you cut the paper, try to keep the same width, and repeat the process on the other side. Great, so I have the parchment paper cut. Now I'm going to take from one corner, I'm going to fold it over the middle, and I'm going to take the other corner, fold over the middle. So here I have the first side of my tin, goes in, and then you can repeat the process with the other part. Perfect, now it's nicely lined, and I'm ready to ensample my pudding. So before that, I'm not going to use big pieces of hot cross buns because they're not going to fit well. So basically, using my knife, I'm going to start cutting them in quarters. Each quarter is going to be about 3 centimeters square, and once you have those quarters, you can just pop them inside your tin. So I have half left. I'm going to eat it later, but I think I'm good now. So looks nice, golden, right to the top of my tin with my hot cross buns. Now it's time to put the custard. Remember, I have the custard here, nice, ready. I'm going for a quick stir just to make sure everything is well mixed. And now I'm going to start pouring slowly the custard over all the pieces of hot cross buns. The smell of this is supreme. The mixed spices are helping a lot. The smell from the hot cross buns. So I'm going now, once you have all the custard in, with the back of a wooden spoon, I'm going to start pressing down until you can see some custard reaching the top. So we make sure all the buns are nicely soaked. And I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. And look at this. Nice level top. Fantastic. Okay, now for extra crunchiness on the top, I'm going to add some demerara sugar. This sugar is not melting in the oven, so it's going to stay nice and crispy once it's baked. It's optional. If you want more sweet, you add it. It's just about a nice sprinkle over the top. Perfect. Right, I'm going to stop here. Good. So, pudding ready. I have my oven ready at 160 degrees fan. I'm going to bake it for about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to check. To realize if our pudding is ready or not, we're going to check in the same way as when you check a cake with a knife in the middle, and if your knife comes out nice and clean, it's because your pudding is ready to go out. So, in the oven, and the timer for 45 minutes. Right, I will see you then in 45 minutes to see how our pudding looks like, and I'm going to take it out, cut a slice, and maybe enjoy. See ya. Right, so it's been 45 minutes since I put my hot cross buns pudding in the oven. I'm going to check how it is inside. So I'm going to use a butter knife, oven gloves. So let's take that out from the oven. Oh la la. Okay, so let me just check with a knife, butter knife. I'm going through the pudding, and if the knife comes out nice and clean as this one, that means your pudding is ready to go. So I'm going to switch off my oven. And I think I like to keep them out from the tin to cool down. So here I have a nice good and peel. I'm going to carefully take it out from the pan. And oh my gosh. Can we all see? Nice dark ends, crispy top for the demerara sugar. The smell is amazing. Okay, so many ways of eating this. As it is, maybe we can wait a little bit to cool down. Now it's really, really hot. If you want extra richness around your hot cross buns pudding, you can make a crème anglaise or maybe some double cream with some sugar with that and just go next to it. So this pudding is going to stay good for about 3 days in the fridge. But I think it's always better to eat it in the same day. But again, if you want to have a couple of slices today, the rest can stay in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. So now I'm going to wait about 10 minutes and then I'm going to cut a couple of slices so we can see what we have inside. So it's been about 15 minutes since I took the pudding out from the oven. Now I'm going to cut a lovely slice so we can see the inside of this. Wow. Let's have another one. Beautiful. So we can all see here the layers of our pieces of hot cross buns, and then a thin layer of the custard going all around, some fruit from the hot cross buns, delicious. It's still nice and warm, so I think I'm going to eat it now, warm. Maybe again with some cream on the side, or just as it is, or maybe some icing sugar if you want extra sweetness. So guys, I think this is it. We are at the end of the workshop of how to make our lovely hot cross buns pudding. Now, if you want to know or you want to learn how to make your own hot cross buns, please, you can join us in person. We have 2 classes, one's at Borough Market or Wembley Park. You can learn how to make your hot cross buns with us. If not, please join us into our masterclass. You can do it at home. We're going to talk about how to make the enriched dough, how to incorporate the fruit, how to shape, how to make the cross and the glaze. I really hope you enjoyed this class with us, and I hope to see you again.